So one thing I hear a lot is people say, we pay taxes, but we don't get any services, which obviously is not true. So where do our tax dollars go? So can you explain that?
Sure. So clearly, yeah, we pay a lot of taxes. We pay them as well. But let's be clear, the income tax, which is what most people pay, none of that comes to the city. That all goes to the state and federal government. So we don't see a dime of that, but we all pay it. Doesn't always feel good, but we do. The ones that come to the city and the ones that are our biggest revenue sources are property tax and sales tax. So over the last few budgets, we've talked about this a lot, but let's take property tax for instance. Only 17.6 of that actually comes to the city. The majority of that money goes to the county and the school.
Yeah.
So on every dollar you spend, 17.6. So when you're paying that bill, keep that in mind. The lion's share is not to us.
Right.
Sales tax, it's the same thing. So our current sales tax rate is 9.25. Thank you to the voters for Measure E. That went into effect in April of 2021. But it's the same thing. Around 4% of that goes to the state. The city gets 3% of that, a little over 3% if you count Prop 172. But again, we're not getting the lion's share. And furthermore, on sales tax, just to make this point, Measure O, voter approved half set initiative, that goes away in 2029. So that 9.25 will go down to 8.75, but that also means the city is going to get less revenue. That is a net loss currently of, in today's dollars, $20 million annually. So it's a lot of money, but that does not all come directly to the city.
And I'm glad actually you brought up Measure O because it will be sunsetting.
Correct.
And one of the things that the critics said about Measure E was that it never sunsets. Mm-hmm. But what they don't realize is that when Measure O goes away, this chunk of money is going away. And
Correct.
What are we going to do? So this will kind of offset that, right?
It'll offset some of that, correct. Yep. It's
Yeah.
very...
So, and and the other good point you made was about, every dollar that is paid in taxes, the chunk of it goes elsewhere. We
Correct.
see pennies of it,
We do.
So it's very important that the people know this, and that's why we're doing this, is to inform the people. So another question is, does Oxnard sales tax pay for water, wastewater, and trash services?
No. Utilities are rate funded. They are there to simply cover the direct and indirect cost of that service. There are no sales taxes even billed to them. They don't cover them. Absolutely not.
Wow. Another misconception then, because again, people think, when it comes to taxes and everything, that everything goes to one bucket and everything. And, when I started getting involved in the city, because, I was brave going in front of the city council and everything, and I wasn't doing my homework. And so I'd ask a question, very confident in what the answer was going to be. And the answer was always something completely different. And then when I did the research, it's like, oh God, I wish I would have known that. And again, that's another reason why I created Citizens, is so that people can get informed. Matter of fact, our motto is the best citizen is an informed citizen. So once again, I'm glad you're here so that we can, let everybody know the truth. So